Hello my lovely friends, my name is Christina and welcome to my channel Sunshine Wellness. On this channel we share content to help you flourish mind, body, and spirit and live a holistically balanced life. If this sounds like something you're interested in and you want to hear more content, please consider subscribing. So just a little quick note, a little bit about me. I am a certified Ayurvedic nutritionist. I'm also a certified yoga instructor and wellness coach. Before we begin the video, I want to give a huge thank you to all of my supporters and subscribers. I want to thank you so much. You guys have really been showing up and supporting. You've joined the community, and I just want to say thank you so much. Giving a big shout out to you today, Miss V, Miss Coco, Miss Shelly, my friends, my family, all that are supporting the channel. I so appreciate you and thank you again. In today's video, we're going to talk about prana, what it is, and why we need it. So first, prana is a Sanskrit word, and that word means breath. And what prana is, it's really the vital life force or life-giving energy that flows through us and around us, and it connects us to all living beings. Prana is actually nature's own intelligence, and our bodies recognize and welcomes prana as what balances us. And so I want to give you some natural sources of the intelligence that come from the 5 elements and where we get prana from. So we get prana from food, from nature, we get it from our own breath, and without prana, we actually feel low energy. When we spend too much time in unnatural environments and eating too much unnatural foods, and we're not using our bodies and our breath in the right way, we become unbalanced and we start to feel lethargic and low energy. And eventually our bodies will reject the unnatural things and we'll start to actually feel sick. So in order to avoid feeling unwell, it's a great idea to tap into as much prana as we possibly can. One of the ways, the easiest way to do that is through food. Foods that have been sitting out in the sunshine, getting that life force energy from the sun, that has been in nature, that has been on the earth, like our root vegetables, they all have prana. They contain prana. We are so fortunate to have foods that are available for us that energize us. And that's what we want. We want to eat foods that energize us. Prana has that vital energy that is in fresh fruits and vegetables. And so that is what we want to eat and consume more of. It's also a great idea to eat prana foods that are organic or locally grown because those foods have not been polluted with chemical fertilizers and pesticides. If you think about it, if our body has to work hard to purify the chemicals every time we eat something, we are going to feel more fatigue and more of that toxic low vibrational energy in our body. When you also eat locally grown foods, they're higher in prana because they don't have to be shipped or stored, and they can be bought right in your community. When we eat food that is what we would call dead or unintelligent food that has very low prana, these are your foods that have been heavily processed. They contain very little life force. They're typically canned, packaged, processed, or left over. Those foods are super difficult to digest, and it creates a sort of clog in the body and creates fatigue. So the idea is for us to eat foods that make us feel energized and light, as opposed to the foods that leave us feeling bloated and lethargic. So again, it's a matter of choice between eating the prana foods, which give us energy, or the dead foods. And of course, we all want to feel our best. So we're going to pick the high energy prana, life force giving foods. Another way that we can increase prana in our bodies is through nature. When we spend outside time walking barefoot in the grass or the sand, sunbathing, moonbathing, and just being out in nature, we increase the prana in our bodies. And with that, it helps to reduce depression and low energy. When we spend a majority of our time in nature, then our impressions of the world become more wholesome and they cultivate a good quality of prana. On the flip side of that, when we spend time indoors and when we spend time watching TV, our impressions and our perceptions come from social media and, binging and things like that. So one of the great things that we can do is sort of set a time limit for watching TV or being in front of the computer, and then use that time that we would normally be spending in front of a computer or in front of the TV outside and receiving that life force energy that will help to revitalize us. And lastly, speaking of nature, there's a spiritual aspect to prana. When you are in nature, you're absorbing the universe and the cosmos and all of the energy that is so natural. You're absorbing that into your body, and that helps to reduce stress and anxiety. Have you ever felt more peaceful and more grounded when you have spent some time outside, whether you were just relaxing on a beach or you took a walk through the park? That is that spiritual connection to nature. Lastly, let's talk about air. Air is the richest source of prana there is. And just even when we take a slow, deep inhale and exhale, we typically feel better almost instantly. And that is because the acquisition of prana actually makes us happier and healthier. When we are able to connect to our breath, we feel lighter. We are also allowing our nervous system to take a break and relax for a bit. When we take the time to connect with our breath, we're also allowing our body to produce neurotransmitters, and that is the chemicals that are making us feel better. It's including like serotonin and dopamine and the endorphins. So the truth is, when we're able to really and truly connect to our breath and focus on that, just taking just a few minutes out of our day whenever we think about it to take some deep breaths and to really truly focus on that, we are actually doing something really great for our body. So just as a recap and a reminder, when we reduce our sensory stimulation, that is our devices and our, watching our TV shows, although that is fun, when we reduce our stimulation, we increase prana. When we eat foods that are whole and have been grown in nature, and, just think of that lemon that's been sitting out in the sun, or that, apple that's been getting all of that fresh prana energy from the sunlight. And when we consume those, that we are actually increasing the prana and giving our bodies what it needs, that we need to be vital and to have energy. And also, lastly, don't forget to breathe. That is just also one of the easiest ways to get prana increased in our body and increase our overall well-being. And lastly, don't forget to cultivate the feeling of love. Love is the highest and most nourishing life force that there is. And when we cultivate the feeling of love by accepting those we love, loving ourselves, then we are also increasing our well-being. And it's so important to remember that having healthy relationships increases that positive energy and raises your vibration. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my content, please follow me over on Instagram at Sunshine Wellness 24. Thank you so much again, and until next time, be well.